Welcome back to Golden Acres. The dog chewing on who knows what bone that they found. And another one wishing she had that bone. They're doing good. They're adjusting pretty well. So I'm happy to hear that, or see that. I guess I'm not really hearing it. They were a little grumpy at the building house property in Wisconsin. That switch was hard for them. And then they don't mind being at my mom and dad's because they get taken care of, and then they love my dad's dogs. But they just know that when they go there, typically it's because something's happened. The first time, my oldest was born early at 33 weeks, and so my mom and dad ended up having them for 2 weeks while he was in the NICU. We actually had brought the dogs with us for the baby shower from my home church, or my church that I grew up with, and that was a little dramatic. So 5 hours away from home, the dogs all of a sudden, never used to being left alone, because when we did our first move with them, we moved a half hour. So it was just, and we owned the house that we moved into, and then we moved from our rental instead of selling a house and then moving. So then when we sold that house, we moved with my husband's company. So they stayed with my mom and dad. We moved to Wisconsin. Then when we sold that house, the dog stayed with my mom and dad for like 2 months. And we moved to the property we were going to build on. And then when we sold that place 5 months later, dogs went back to my parents' house. And they're like, I don't really like coming here without you. Then when we moved in with the dogs, well, in with my parents, and the dogs were there. They were happy then. And then when we came over here, we left them there for a couple more months still. Just, we're trying to get all the fences repaired and get their area set up. Because they really respect fences. They don't tend to crawl through them. My parents have electric fence. And one time when we were visiting, Thea got her tail close to the electric fence. Not meaning to, by any means. But the horse was standing right there. And so then she freaked out, and she thought it was the horse. It was actually kind of funny. Alright, something I want you to talk about is, it's getting windy. We have a weird issue with our power company right now. And here it is. They came and they sprayed under the power lines. Oh, I was furious. The worst is down here. So I was driving home. I pull in the driveway, and there's a man with a backpack sprayer on in my paddock, just spraying the trees down here. And there's worse. And the farther down you go, the more stuff is dead. So the power company, of course, has an easement, and it's loosely written to take care of the plants. It's like, yeah, you have the right to come cut down the tops of the trees. That's fine. And I can't maintain something within, so many feet or inches of the line. I get it. But what gives them the right to spray a little pine tree like this? Or even just the weeds? And we plan on putting hogs out here. We want to get some Idaho pasture pigs. And I was furious. And of course, The man didn't speak English, or spoke very little English, and I don't speak any Spanish. Like, I failed my Spanish class in high school. I don't speak any Spanish. So we have no way of communicating. He has no way of telling me what he is spraying on my trees, which that is illegal. You have to be able to tell people what chemical you are spraying when you are spraying for, like, the power company or something else. So he's like, I don't know, I have no idea what this chemical is. And I was like, I want to put animals out here. Is it going to kill them? And he just looks at me, of course, because he's not understanding what I'm saying. And it's like, oh my goodness, like, why are you out here? And so I have, you know, obviously didn't spray everything. But we have so many dying or dead trees. And they're nowhere near the power lines. Some things we were going to cut down, because you don't want all of this in your fence line. But some, like the smaller pines, we were going to try to transplant. And a lot of those are going to die. And I am so mad. I'm kind of venting on this post, but also letting you guys know what I'm dealing with. Because this is where I caught him. He was spraying this tree right here. And of course, you know, you see behind you, this right here is where the water flows into that small pond. And I told him to get off my property. In hindsight 2020, I should have called the police. Because it is illegal to be spraying chemicals that you don't know. Or at least you don't have the fact sheet on. Like, you don't have to be able to perfectly explain it. But if somebody is on your property and they aren't able to give you the information on the chemical they're spraying, whether they fully understand exactly what it does or not, that is 100% illegal, even with an easement. But like, yeah, all these little pine trees, we were going to move. Like, why not? We don't want them in our fence, but we don't want to kill them. Let's see if we move them. Like, if they die in transplant because we didn't do a good job, well, that's sad, but we tried, right? Instead of just spraying them and killing them. And you can see it. And it's going down onto our neighbor's property, too. I'm mad. Beyond mad. My entire purpose for making this video is I really want to make sure you guys are aware of what your rights when you have an easement are. Because we've had our easement abused twice recently. There's another easement on our property for a local farmer to get to his back pasture, and they're great. They're our neighbors, they're awesome, they're fantastic. But we also had a semi-truck driver come in to spread lime for our neighbors, and went through our yard and ran over our kids' toys. And he treated it as if it was no big deal. And I was like, of course it's a big deal. You know, if my kids were outside and saw you running over and destroying their toys, they might dart at you. It's a very big deal. That, like, one, it's destruction of property, which is illegal. You know, we'd have the right to call the cops on him. You know, actually, it might have been a rare toy at this point. It was given to us by my aunt. It was in really nice condition. One of those little Disney brand ride-on toys. This little sit-and scoots. And yeah, we could technically have called the cops for destruction of property. Because they didn't stay in the driveway. So there's ruts in our yard, which we were filling in holes. So there's going to be ruts from no grass, like holding up the dirt. But yeah, it was it was not a pleasant situation to be in. My kids watched that this man ran over their toys. Andrew, of course, went to talk to him. I'm like, hey, you know, I really wish you would have, you know, just got us. We were in the house. We were about to start cooking supper. You know, we will move anything to make it easier for you. And the guy kind of blew it off. And Andrew, that was it. Andrew moved the tractor, made sure the guy couldn't leave until he had a serious conversation with him, and made him apologize. And the guy definitely did not want to apologize. But that's what we wanted for our children, was to be apologized to. Like, the thing doesn't matter. It's a toy. And as much as it hurts their feelings, the toy itself doesn't matter. But someone owning up for their actions. I don't know what kind of bug that was, but it was not leaving me alone. But it did matter that, one, our kids saw that their dad was willing to fight for them. So they got a great lesson in daddy's not going to let you be hurt, which was nice, even though they were able to be hurt. And of course they're going to be able to be hurt. That's just life. And there goes the train. So they learned that their daddy will fight for them, which is awesome. You know, have to look at the bright side of things on like little stuff like that. But also that man got a lesson. He actually came back this morning. Ooh, windy. They said it was going to get like 20 degrees lower in temperature. They took that out of the forecast, but man, it's still awfully windy for that not to happen. But that man actually ended up coming back and brought the boys a little tractor. It's not a ride-on. It's like a $10 one from Walmart. But the gesture for the kids, in that it was genuine. It wasn't just, you know, a guy pulling 20 bucks out of his pocket after an event to get us off his back. This man then, after being forced to apologize to my children and see their faces, came back and apologized. And I was really considering calling the company this morning. Not going to now. He's made his amends. He's apologized to us. He's taken us very seriously, and he understands where we stand. And he came back and apologized this morning. So yeah, those are our stories for the kind of craziness that we've been dealing with, and the getting used to a new place and with different people. We really do hope that it is over. I mean, we do feel like with the semi-truck driver, that's over. The power company, we're probably going to be dealing with them the next time they show up and are spraying my trees. I regret not calling the police that day. I don't even remember the day it was. I was coming in with the kids in my car, and there's a strange man in my paddock, like, jumped my fence, which it's not legal either. There's an element of they can't cross fences and open gates too. You know, they're supposed to do all their work from the driveway. I should have called the cops. I should have had mediation in that way, and that's a regret I make. You are, buddy. So, thanks for coming back and checking us out. Have a wonderful week, and God bless.